And in this case also, in question number 3, you have the investment for 3 years, in which the rate for the first year is 4%, for the second year it is 5%, and for the third year it is 6%. So here, principal, let's write down the principal first. The principal here is 3,125. Okay. Now the time of investment is 3 years, so that's okay, because the rates are different, so we'll not write n is equal to 3. Okay. And the rates of interest that are given to you are, for the first year, let's write it as R1. The rate of interest is 4%. For the second year, R2, the rate of interest is 5%. And for the third year, the rate of interest is 6%. Okay. Now, whenever the rates are different for different years, this is the formula for compound interest that you are going to apply. Amount after 3 years. Remember this formula. We worked out the same sum for 2 years with simple interest formula, if you remember, right? When the rates were different for 2 different years. This time 3 years
Yes,
are
sir.
given and the rates are different for 3 different years. So amount at the end of 3 years. Okay, A is equal to principal into 1 plus R1 by 100. This is for the first year. For the next year, it is 1 plus R2 by 100. And for the third year, it is 1 plus R3 by 100. Okay. So when the rates are different for different years, this is the formula that you are going to apply. Okay. Now, in order to calculate this, let's write down the values. Principal is 3,125. 1 plus rate is for the first year is 4%, so 4 by 100. For the second year, the rate is 5%, so 5 by 100. For the third year, the rate is 6%, so 1 plus 6 by 100. Okay. And now we shall do our calculation. First of all, you can cancel this with 25. You can cancel this with 20. And you can cancel this with 2. Okay. So what you get here is a better still, what you can also do is instead of canceling, okay, because you have denominator 100, you can keep the denominator 100. This will be give you a little convenience in your calculation. Okay. So in order to, for convenience of calculation, keep the denominator as 100. So 1 plus, you had 4 by 100, you had 5 by 100, and you had 6 by 100. This is what you had. So now 3,125. Take the LCM for the first one. You get 100 plus 4 by 100. Take the LCM for the second one. 100 plus 5 by 100. And for the third one also. 100 plus 6 by 100. Okay. So now you get 3,125 into 104 by 100 into 105 by 100 into 106 by 100. Okay. Now you need to multiply 3,125 with 104, 105, and 106. All these you need to multiply. So if you multiply, you are going to get okay, and 4 zeros you are going to get, and in the denominator you will have 6 zeros. Okay. So now what happens? That now 4 zeros are going to cancel from the numerator and the denominator. So you're only left with 361725 by 100. Right? So this will give you amount is, you shift 2 decimals to the left, you will get 3617.25. This is the amount that you will get after 3 years. Okay. And they have, in the question they have asked you what should be the compound interest. So therefore, hence compound interest at the end of 3 years. Compound interest at the end of 3 years, CI, is amount minus principal. So you get 3,617.25 minus 3,125. You subtract these two, you're going to get 492.25. So this is 492.75 it should be. Let me just check once again.
Yes, sir. 492.25.
492.25.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 492.25 it is. 492.25. Okay. So for different years, when the rates are different, this is the compound interest formula that you should apply. And you must remember this. Otherwise, if you do by simple interest formula, it is going to make things more difficult, because for you have to do the calculation for each year. For the first year, you will have to calculate the amount, then you have to make the principal for the second year, and then again calculate the amount, and then again you will have to make that amount as a principal for the third year, and then again you will have to calculate, and then you have to subtract uh, from the principal. Okay, to get uh, the compound interest. So this formula is easier. Calculation is easier from this formula. Okay, so remember this formula. Now we are going to work out the next sum. The next sum that I would like to work out is number 4. Now, if you read this sum, it says Kamla borrowed 26,400 from a bank to buy a scooter at a rate of 15% per annum compounded yearly. Compounded yearly means or annually. Okay. What amount will she pay at the end of 2 years, 4 months to clear the loan? Right. Now here there's a fractional power here. Now see, when I'm borrowing something from the bank and if I'm repaying them after 2 years, 4 months, that means obviously the bank will charge me some interest, right? If I'm borrowing, let's say she's borrowing 26,400 from the bank, right? That means after 2 years, 4 months, she cannot give back 26,400 only. She has to give it with the interest for those 2 years and 4 months, isn't it? That means she will have to give more than 26,400. So here, if you see, the principal is 26,400, right? Now she's paying interest to the bank. How much? What is the rate of interest of the bank it is given? It is given to be 15%. Okay, not right percent. Let's simply write 15. Okay, and the time here is 2 years, 4 months. 2 years, 4 months. This is the time. Now you will wonder what you will do if, because if I put it directly in the formula, if you see amount at the end of, let's write this in this way, amount at the end of 2 years and 4 months, which Kamla pays back. How much is it? A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power of n, right? Now we put the values in this. It's 26,400, right? Into 1 plus rate is 15,100. Now 2 years, 4 months, you better change this to years. Okay. This means 2 years, 4 months means 2 plus 2 years plus 4 by 12 years, right? Which is 2 plus 1/3. So now if you take the LCM, you're going to get 7 by 3. Or let's keep it at 2 plus 1/3 instead of taking the LCM. This is the number of years, right? Isn't it? So what I do is I
Yes,
write
sir.
this as 2 plus 1/3. Okay. Now why
Sir,
did I
we
write?
cannot write 7 by 3.
Yes, you can write, but for some convenience of calculation, we are writing this as 2 plus 1 by 3. Okay. If you want to write, you can write 7 by 3. here, right? Or here also you can write 7 by 3. Okay, let's write it. Now we have got a fractional power. Now what to do with this fractional power then? What you do here is 26,400 into 1 plus 15 by 100. 7 by 3 is a fractional power. So what you do is you write this 7 by 3 as 2 plus 1/3. Okay. Or you can write simply 2 1/3. Okay. As a mixed fraction. Is this step clear?
Yes, sir.
Then 26,400. 1 plus 15 by 100. And now 2 1/3 you can write as 2 plus 1/3. Right? 2 1/3 you can write as 2 plus 1/3.
Yes, sir.
Now 26,400. If you remember the laws of exponents, what was the laws of exponents? E to the power of m plus n is equal to e to the power of m into e to the power of n, isn't it? From the laws of indices, the
Yes,
base
sir.
here is 1, e here is 1 plus 15 by 100, right? And m here is 2 into again e to the power of n. So to the power of 1/3. Is this step clear? We are getting this from here. The base here is e here is 1 plus 15 by 100. Is this step clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now 26,400. Now there's a small rule here that when you have a fractional power, for the first one, this is okay. 1 plus 15 by 100 squared, this is okay. Okay. But for the next one, if you want to remove this power, okay, what you do is you multiply this 1/3 with this 15. Why we are doing it? That is a different story altogether. Okay. But just remember the rule. In order to remove this power in compound interest, what you do is you multiply this 1/3 with the rate and write this as 100, and now the power becomes 1. Okay, important rule. You'll remember this rule.
Yes, sir.
26,400. Now we want to simplify this. Okay, so how do we simplify this here? You can cancel here first. Let 5 by 100.
Sir.
Hmm.
Sir, I'm asking that instead of doing this all, we can directly multiply 7 by 3 into 15 by 100.
7 by 3 into 15 by 100.
Yes, sir.
See, what you asked is a very intelligent question actually. Actually, if you multiply 7 by 3 into 15, you will get an answer, but you will not get a very accurate answer. Understood? The reason here is that there is something called as the, let me just explain to you a little briefly. Okay, whether you understand or don't understand, that is a different issue, but let me explain why. Because there is something called as the binomial theorem. A plus x to the power of n. Okay, you have done a plus b whole square, right?
Yes, sir.
Formula, what is the formula for a plus b whole square? A square plus 2ab plus b square, isn't it? This is something that you will learn later in your class 11. Okay, that if you have a plus b to the power of, let's say, 49, then how will you expand this? You don't know the expansion of this, right? So what you do here is there is a certain rule called the binomial theorem with which we can expand this. Okay, that means this is the rule for binomial theorem. Now what is the rule? I will not say the rule right now, but what happens is that when you are expanding, the first two terms is a to the power of n plus n into a to the power of n minus 1 into x. So what you are doing, if you are multiplying this here, as you are saying, if you're multiplying 7 by 3 with 15 here, then what will happen is that you are taking only these two and you're ignoring the others. So if you ignore the others, then what will happen? You will get an answer that is not accurate, right? You'll get an answer that is less than the actual answer, isn't it? So that is why you cannot multiply in that step. So that is why what we do is we first break it into an integral power. Okay. We first break it into an integral power and a fractional power, 2 plus 1/3. And then with the fractional power, we apply that to get an accurate answer. Okay. So this is an important rule that you must remember.
Okay, sir.
So you now, if you want, what you do is you better take the LCM instead of cancelling so that it is easier to multiply. So you get 100 plus 15. To keep 100 in the denominator, to keep zeros in the denominator, instead of cancelling, you take the LCM directly, and you get here 1 plus 5 by 100. Okay, so you get 26,400 into 115 by 100 square into, now if you take the LCM here, you get 100 plus 5. 26,400 into 115 by 100 square into 105 by 100. Okay, so you get 26,400 into 115 by 100 into 115 by 100 into 105 by 100. Okay, now you multiply the numerator, everything in which is there in the numerator. Okay, if you multiply, you're going to get 366,597. Okay, and you are going to get 5 zeros in the numerator, and in the denominator you have 6 zeros, right? Now what will happen is that 5 zeros will cancel. Okay, so what you simply get here is 366,597 divided by 10, right? Now you simply shift one decimal to the left, you get rupees 36,659 and 70 paise. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the amount that she will pay back. How much loan did she take from the bank? She took only 26,400, and she took for 2 years 4 months, because the bank was charging her 15% extra as compound interest. She is paying back more. How much is she paying back? 36,659. What is the interest that she is paying back to the bank? What is the interest paid to the bank? That's not the question. But if the question is interest, what is the interest paid charged by the bank? CI is amount minus principal. Amount is 36,659.7 minus, and how much did she borrow from the bank? 26,400, right? So how much is this? 10,259 and 70 paise. This is the extra amount that she is paying to the bank as interest. Clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move to the next problem then. The next question that I want to take up is question number 6. Mukesh borrowed 7,000 from a bank. Again, he's borrowing from the bank. That means what? The amount that is the principal that he's borrowing, when he pays back, he has to pay more than 75,000. So he borrows 75,000 from a bank. If the rate of interest is 12%, okay, so the principal is 75,000. Rate of interest is 12%. Okay, fine. Find the amount you would be paying after 1.5 years. If now you have two cases in the question. If the interest is compounded annually, if the interest is compounded half year. Okay, which means that in the first case, suppose there are two banks. Okay, both are willing to give him 75,000 rupees. and both are saying that we will charge you 12% rate of interest. Okay, how much will you pay us back after this period of time, 1.5 years? So n here is 1.5 years. Okay, so for the first one, in the first one is this, they have said that when the interest is compounded annually. So when the interest is compounded annually, principal is 75,000, rate is 12, and the time is 1.5 years. Okay, now 1.5 years can also be written as 1 plus half years, right? Now we shall calculate. So amount that Mukesh pays back to the bank at the end of 1.5 years, when the interest is compounded annually. When the interest is compounded annually, underline. Amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power of n. Write the principal 75,000 into 1 plus 12 by 100 to the power of 1 plus half, right? Because it is fractional, so I've broken up into an integer plus a fraction. How do you work this out? 75,000, you write this as 1 plus 12 by 100 into 1 plus 12 by 100 to the power of half. Just as earlier I taught you, important step. Now here comes the important step. 75,000 into 1 plus 12 by 100. And then in order to remove the fractional power, what you do is you multiply the power by the rate. Okay. And now you can take the LCM here. So you get 100 plus 12 divided by 100. And here you get 1 plus 6 by 100. So you get 75,000 into 112 by 100. And here, if you take the LCM, you'll get 106 by 100. Right? So now if you multiply 75,000 with 112 and 106, okay, you are going to get and then you'll get divided by, and then you get 4 zeros in the denominator. Okay, now these 4 zeros, they are going to cancel. So ultimately what you are going to get here is rupees 89,040. This is the amount that he will pay to the bank that is charging him in interest annually. Okay. Now, in case of if you borrow the same amount from a different bank, 75,000, if you borrow from a different bank, then how much interest will you have to pay for the second one? In this case, what happens for the second part of the problem? When the interest is compounded half yearly, see, they have said when the interest is compounded half yearly for the second. So let's calculate. So when the interest is compounded half yearly. Principal here is 75,000, right? For how much time is he, what is the rate of interest? 12%, right? But rate, because he is borrowing, because the interest he is giving half yearly, the rate has to be divided by 2. So rate here becomes 6. And what is the time? The time for which he is borrowing is 1.5 years. But because his interest is being compounded half yearly, you need to multiply the time by 2. So what you get here, 1.5 into 2 will give you 3 by 2 into 2, which is equal to 3, right? So amount at the end of amount that Mukesh pays back. Yes, amount that Mukesh pays back. At the end of 1.5 years, when the interest is compounded half yearly. When the interest is compounded half yearly is, again, A is equal to P 1 plus R by 100 to the power of n. Now put the values here. 75,000 into 1 plus 6 by 100 to the power of 3, right? Now we simply calculate this. 75,000, and you can take the LCM within the power. So you get 100 plus 6 divided by 100 whole cube, which is equal to 75,000 into 106 by 100 cube, right? So this is 75,000 multiplied by 106 by 100 thrice. Okay, so now certain zeros are going to cancel. 3 zeros will cancel here, right? So now if you multiply 75 into 106 into 106, you are going to get 89326 2 divided by, you'll get 3 zeros in the denominator. Okay, you're going to get 2 zeros in the numerator and you're going to take 3 zeros in the denominator, from which now 2 zeros are going to cancel. Now you can shift one decimal to the left to get amount as rupees 89,326.2 and 20 paisa. Now my question to you, if Mukesh is borrowing the amount from bank 1 and if he's paying an amount of 89,050, he's paying this back. And if he's paying this back to the second bank, then which bank should he opt for? Should he opt for the first bank or the second bank? Which one? Tell me. In the first bank, he's paying 89,040. In the second bank, he's paying back 89,326. So which bank is better? Which bank should he opt for?
Sir, annually,
first bank.
first one.
First one, because here the amount is lesser. Because here the compound interest is lesser. He is paying lesser compound interest. So remember, in case of compound interest, whenever you are getting an interest that is compounded half yearly or quarterly, okay, or semi-annually or bi-monthly, that is always better than getting compound interest annually. And when you are paying back interest, always try to pay back interest annually. Okay, always opt for an option where you are getting where you have to pay back the interest compounded annually, because if they are compounding the interest half yearly or quarterly, you will be paying more as interest. Okay, so as when you are receiving interest, always opt for schemes which have semi-annual schemes or quarterly schemes. But when you are paying back, you always opt for interest which are paid annually. Okay, fine. So let us move to the next question. We'll do next question as question number 9, and this question is a little different from all the other questions. Let's see what is different in this question. Question number 9. Yes. In this question, if you see, it reads, what sum invested for 1.5 years compounded half yearly at the rate of 8% per annum will amount to rupees 1,40,608. Okay, I read the question once again. The question is, what sum invested? That means they're asking you for the principal. What sum invested for 1.5 years? That means they have given you the period of investment, 1.5 years, right? Compounded half yearly. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. The interest is compounded half yearly, and because it is being compounded half yearly, what do we do with the time? We multiply it by 2. So n here is 3. At the rate of 8% per annum. Rate is 8% per annum, but the interest is being compounded half yearly. That means we divide the rate by 2. So R is 4. Will amount to 1,40,608. So given to you here is amount also. 1,40,608. You need to calculate the principal. Okay. So how do we calculate the principal in this case? Write the interest first. Amount is equal to principal into 1 plus rate by 100 to the power of n. Now put the values. How much is the amount? 1,40,608 is equal to principal. We don't know, so let's write P. 1 plus rate is 4 divided by 100, and the time of investment is 3. Okay. So this is 140,608 is equal to, you can take the LCM within the power to get 100, the 100 plus 4 whole cube. So you get 140,608 is equal to P into 104 by 100 cube. That means you can write this as P, just write the left hand side first, P into 104 by 100 into 104 by 100 into 104 by 100 must be equal to 140,608. Right? Now you can cross multiply. You get P into 104, or you want to cancel first. Which one should it be? Let's cancel first, and then we can multiply. This cancels with 4, and this cancels with 4 26 times. Again same, and again same. Okay, so we are getting here P into 26 into 26. Okay, I think the time is ending. Okay, so I'll finish the sum tomorrow. Okay.